Hi, everybody. How are you doing? I hope you all had a great time on the Blender conference. It's almost the last talk. I have that privilege. Thank you for coming. Thank you for to the Blender Foundation to make this possible. It's really nice. The environment here and the people that we are all coming here is making a really wonderful atmosphere. So my name is Juan Carlos Garcia. I'm coming from Big Water Studios, Spain. And I will speak a little bit about how we do procedural stuff in our animation TV series and feature film, animation productions. And then also I will, let's say, touch a little bit about the AI in our end. So before starting, like I did the last year in another talk, I was also here speaking. So I will give a present to someone in this room. I will just ask 2 questions at the end of the presentation, and who is answering correct and maybe fast and maybe with better face, then I will give the book. Yeah, so speaking about AI, so basically AI we probably all use in some way, and in this case, for example, I use it in the brush leaves that are on the right to fill up the right side of the image. Introduction, stupid things, but anyway. So when I was young, I used many sentences, so some sentence to try to flirt. And this is one of the sentences that I use, is like science, love moves the world, and the world moves us all, then we are all moved by love. And this is how I met my wife. And then we have created these 2 beautiful assets with a little bit of pre-production. But love is not only your family or your beloved people, your wife, your husband, is also the love that you print in your day-by-day work, in our case, in our animation studio. So it's not only love, speaking about the humanity, loving people, it's also the love that we have for our job and job style. So we are creating animation because we love animation. Nobody obligates us to come to work to this kind of job. Your parents didn't say, okay, prepare 5 years of career to be an animator. Not. So everybody coming to the studio is coming because they all love animation in some way. And in the same way, like we love to do animation, we love to use the tools to produce animation. And in this case, and specifically speaking about this Blender.com, is also a big love that we have for Blender. And then from the last 5 years, at least, we consider that we provoke and promote Blender a lot in the world, also with our clients, and we tried many times to convince them that this is the right direction using this software. So speaking a bit about Big Water Studios, we are a studio that let's say we go from 80 people to 150 or a bit more, depending on the time that we are producing animation. And then we are a multi-pipeline studio. What it means is like we don't scare to use different softwares to produce animation. We are not stuck in a single pipeline or single workflows per department. We are really open-minded in this way. What it means also is that we try to choose the software that is more convenient to do whatever it needs in the production. So, and then it's becoming, during the last 5 years especially, that once we start a project and we analyze with which software we will use this production, it's coming more and more Blender. And in our last projects that we did, basically we say we can do all in Blender, and it's the most convenient one. It's not the question which one is the best one or which one is the the one that is selling more later or whatever. It's like, what's the most convenient to do proper production with nice animation and producing in a really nice way. And also, again, making also the team love what they do and love the software that they are using to do the animation. So yeah, here is just a slide to give you a link. You can search for the previous 2024 conference talk that we did here. We spoke a little bit also about proceduralism, but more in the focus of shading in cycles. And then I'm trying this year to explain it in a different way, not entering much in shading. It's more in the creation of things. So, wow, look at that transition. Again, it's not Blender, it's PowerPoint. That's because it's power. And then let me show you a demo reel of the studio so you have an idea, in case of you don't know us, of what we do. Thank you. So, of course, all of this is possible with the people that I saw in the pictures, and much more than maybe are not in the picture. And I will go a bit deeply in these two last productions that we did. This is a feature film, Kayara, and this is a TV series called Dino Mates. And then, just to let you know, both productions are completely done with Blender, and completely is not 100%. Almost never, no, because you go to some compositing software or some painting texture software. But here is a trailer of the feature film that we did that was in cinemas, maybe still in some countries in cinemas. So, yeah, this was a project that from the Excel's budget speaking, it was with a lot of limitations, and it came to our studios to make it possible, and we said that, let's do it, and Blender is the solution for this. But let's say in the Excel, it was not possible to do, let's say, to get separate department just for the grooming and hair on the characters. So, but we thought we need to do it because anyway, if not, what is the alternative? It's like geometry looking like hair on a feature film that is going to cinema. So we thought it was not nice in that way. So yeah, we kind of tweak some stuff. We on the budget we prepare department of VFX and character effects, and then we make it possible. And then for that, we choose Houdini, thinking that maybe is the most convenient and proper software to do the grooming, probably the best one on the market. But still, we need to render everything and to do everything in Blender. So it's kind of a branch on the pipeline that is going to Houdini and coming back to Blender. And nowadays, that is not possible like plug and play. It's not that way that is just going to Houdini and coming back and everything works. So we develop our own system to make it possible. I will show you here a scene with this grooming where you can see that the hair is moving a lot, and then I will go a little bit more about the techniques. So as you can see, it's Houdini there. In Houdini, we did the grooming on the characters and also the simulation with many also procedural stuff. But especially, I would like to stop here the video so to explain a little bit how we made this possible. It's not just pure geometry on the hair that is with a cast and then an alembic and it's coming millions and millions of polygons to the characters. It's a solution that is combining the best of Blender in geometry nodes with the best of Houdini. So in this development, we thought that yeah, what we need is like to create the geometry nodes with the grooming in Blender. So we have the hair and the divisions of the different hairs in vertex, let's say, and then we kind of plug the alembic cast on the each single hair system based on this kind of geometry that we produce. So if you see the whiskers of the Guinea pig, this animal, so it's something that we have simplified in this drawing. So if the hair is from the point A crossing B and C, so it has like 3 vertex. So what we calculate is like the next position in frame and the next position in frame, next position for the cast in alembic. So that position A and A2, B and B2 and C2 is already creating a geometry. So that kind of thing is like 2 quads on a geometry that can be a simplification of the whiskers that you see on the character. So in that way, we can export the alembic with that information to the geometry nodes and taking the geometry nodes like the A2, B2, C2, like the position of the ABC frames on the time, on the space. And you can see it here a little bit in action. So you can imagine there's a lot of nodes in both sides, and then yeah, also going to the geometry nodes there. So it's cool how we can combine. It was already something that it took time in our studio, like 2-3 months to develop in a nice way. But you can already see here in lighting that we can even rotate the shot and make it kind of real time for the artist to work with. If you are coming from another standard softwares, this is going to be not only a nightmare, it's becoming impossible. And the same like we did with this guy. Also, we thought, okay, if we are doing the long hair of the characters, we are doing the grooming on the short hair on the small animals. Let's do also the feathers in this way. So it's just a video where we see here like thousands and thousands of hairs. Each feather is composed by thousands of hairs. And then we do the same kind of calculation, exportation and importation in geometry nodes with this system that we developed. So the lighting behavior on the surface, on the feathers of the characters are kind of realistic, still in the cartoon style, but realistic in the way of calculating the light. So happy the lighters and happy everybody with the look that we are doing with limited budget. And then by the other side, the other production that we did also last year, or finishing also at the beginning of this year, it was more in the stylized look, NPR. It's a little bit similar to the one that I spoke about last year in the BlenderCon. And then we have developed our own shading that in this case it was advanced in some features. And then here is a trailer of the production. So, yes, to mention those guys, thank you. So, it's a TV series idea, story coming from books and also some stories that they have in the theme park, Europa Park in Germany, and then produced also by KIKA TV in Germany and distributed by the Studio 100. And then there, if we go to the proceduralism, how we did this. So we use, let's say, procedural creation of things in multiple things, but here is an example of an asset we did. We call it like infinite prop, that is the typical wheel that is never ending, that it was also used in the 2D animation for a while. But why we create this and why it was a prop is because, okay, in this TV series we are combining 3D background or CG backgrounds with 2D hand-painted by an illustrator backgrounds, and then we realized that we have many point of views that can be produced in 3D, but if we are doing single 3D environments for each episode, is becoming a little bit tired for everybody. So we have created this asset that is pretty versatile and is also a template to use in another productions. So it's also comfortable for the layout team and animators to animate on flat surface or 3D surface, not only over 2D layers that are less convenient. And to show you a little bit about the configuration of the geometry nodes, it's all based in geometry nodes connected with our rigging system, so the animators are not touching the parameters in the geometry nodes, they are just controlling by the controls the curves on the rigging. And if you see, we have parameters for making it go faster or even with no movement. We have also a way to make it longer, make it higher, and make it deeper. So if we need some much more slope or gradient on the road, we can make it possible. If we need it a little bit flatter, it's super powerful. And then we have also the distribution of the different assets that later on in another production can be plugged with, I don't know, realistic asset, not only the cartoon ones. And then, yeah, you can put signals, you can put buses, trees, multiplied the number of the electric pole, and so on. So it's really cool for this specific production. And then just about shading, also in this production we have a lot of wood surfaces, like of course, some floors, walls, and ceilings. And then we have developed a kind of let's say a duplicate shader of our toon shading, but specifically to create wood in general. So it's fully procedural in the toon style, in this kind of simple shapes and colors. And you can see already that you have multiple parameters, attributes to change density, water damage, dirtiness, this kind of distortion. You can also put planks that you can also decide if it's random, it has more separation in between planks or less. And then not only that, is also if in case of you have like multiple geometries applied with the same shader, you have here one check that says per mesh, that is also taking some parameters, attributes different from the different mesh. So we are speaking, for example, about the colors or maybe some different shapes that can get from one geometry to the other, even if it's the same shader apply. That you can see maybe here. Yeah, so there it was like the color. And then on top of that, the last layer was like painting. So if someone paint with some also transparency level to see if you see the wood through the painting, also the age in case of it's old or not, and some variation. And then it's not only that, it's not only what we are doing in our productions, speaking about proceduralism or procedural way to create things, especially with geometry nodes. It's also that we have some crazy guys, that in this case Antonio, that he's developing by his own at home some stuff that can be useful maybe for us for animation production, but he's doing his own things, which is becoming the word that Blender is super an amazing software, because it's the freedom of creation. So you can go home and do whatever you want. And this guy did everything with the geometry nodes, and you can see how he did a system that is scaling some part of the body and is smoothing automatically in geometry to the neighbor vertex, let's say. And then pretty cool what he is doing. Also, he has developed a way to create automatic speed lines for this kind of toon, shading, NPR series that we are usually working in BWater. So that those speed lines are being calculated automatically by the velocity of the vertex on the space. So it's creating a geometry that, together with a shading, you have there some attributes to change the shapes, the transparency, the variation of the color or whatever. But it's automatic speed lines. He also developed a way to do terrain, fully procedural, and then it's crazy because this is not displacement, this is pure geometry being calculated with geometry nodes. And because he is also a shader guy, he combined both walls, the procedural creation on the geometry nodes with the shading procedural. So for example, in this case, in this kind of rock formation mountain, when the shapes are more vertical, you have the rocks. When it's a little bit flatter, you have the the sand feeling, and then it can be also modified by anything that you need in production. And then here, probably you will feel the geometry. And so this is a, let's say, it's a development that we are right now doing in the direction of the painterly style and also the automatism of generating grooming without going out from Blender. And then, well, we have downloaded this model from Sketchfab, from Bridget Police. Thank you for this, guys. Just so we are not using it in production, it's just using it for testing. It's a mouse that is texture, so it's coming with 2D painted texture. And then what we have created here is, I will explain it before the video, because also the video is coming fast. So it's creating grooming like the standard way of creating grooming now with the geometry nodes. But, and I will just play a bit. This is the grooming that is creating. So it's the tiny, it's creating just a dot distributed by the surface. And then, let's say, based on the curvature of the surface, is taking a direction to grow. I'm trying to explain it more or less simple. So if I'm playing here the video, you will see how it's automatically growing in the direction. Let's say if hair, you imagine the hair like a box or a cylinder. So if you say like, okay, it's growing the hair, it's taking the shortest point to the flattest surface close to that vertex. So it's kind of extruding in different divisions, in different levels, to automatically take the direction of the hair. So if you see here, for example, in the middle of the head, you see how automatically the hair is going out from the sharp middle point, which is like pinching the geometry, because there is more curvature. Super cool. And then not only that, it's also that he combines that automatic grooming and hair ecosystem with automatic shading. Sorry. So the look is this kind of painterly look. And for that, I wrote here, this is the documentation of Blender. So the technique is to use the ray portal node that is now possible to use in Blender as the base of the color of each single hair growing from the surface. So basically it's like a camera pointing to the dot where the hair is growing or burning, let's say, and then that color is the color that is putting the shading on the whole hair with the curvature. And based on that that concept or that development, we also create, for example, grass systems that are looking like 2D. It's all in cycles. These kind of things are becoming a little bit simpler in EV, like in the game engines, but in cycles it's a little bit more complex to create the 2D style. And it's just a sort of another feature film that we are now in production. We are finishing. It's work in progress. So you can see it here in action. And it's cool not only because it's taking the 2D style look like we see in another productions, it's also because this kind of grass, the shape is also procedural in some way. So there is a geometry that is like a base, but there is a curve that is driving the silhouette of the geometry. So it's also every single leaf of the grass is taking like a random variation on the shape, which is amazing. And speaking about that kind of ray portal that is taking the color, you can already see, for example, here, that when the grass is growing from the sand, it's also taking the sand color. Yeah, and let's go for the second section of the presentation. So AI in production. I will not tell here any big secret. It's just, let's say, I have prepared this video like a summary visually of what AI does, considering the expectation of the world of creating animation. So in this case, I use the Minimax High Luo AI. It's, like 1.5 years ago I tried. And then I said in the prompt, okay, is this character, this is the first frame, and then the character goes to the background, and then saying greetings. And this is what it did. So, as a conclusion, and it's not the final slide, but as a conclusion, before going deeper to this topic, basically 99% of the images are incorrect, or not really what you want or what you need to create. So it's kind of bullshit. So it means that 99% of the time spent is for nothing. It's most of the time waiting, really frustrating. And we are all here to create, enjoying, let's say. So when this kind of technologies, new technologies came to the market or to the world, everybody was expecting like, okay, wow, good, we can do animation, TV series, feature film or whatever in really short time and super fast because it's just writing a prompt and pressing the play, no? So the expectation was like this kind of pipeline, which is just an example of one of our pipelines, complex workflows per department with a lot of people is, thanks to the AI, becoming something like this, right? So we have an idea, we prompt it, and then we have a final episode. And then, let's say, if you want to create something really good and in good quality, this is not like that, but sadly, it's also becoming really common, this kind of pipeline for video creation in YouTube for babies. And then my two daughters sometimes are asking me, do you like this? Because it's super nice. It's a cat doing like, and then it's being done or created with the AI, and it's sad, but it's also difficult to explain to some kids why it's bad. If they see a beautiful song with a beautiful cat and a beautiful background moving in a, who knows, crazy way. But AI is not only bad, it's not only coming to kill our jobs, it's also a way to do stuff in a different way. And in this case, for example, so I'm using Claude with the MCP server connection to Blender. So I'm prompting in Claude. It's super easy to do the setup if you search for this information. You don't need to be an engineer for that, and you can also use the free version of Claude with limitation on time or the times that you use it, but you can use it, and the add-on in Blender. And then, yeah, I was thinking, okay, I have this ruler here that I want to reproduce in Blender based on that image. And then I just say, okay, let's try to put that image as a reference. And then I wrote a prompt. I said, create a ruler like in the image attached with real measurements. It's with a total size of 200 centimeters, and every 10 centimeters you have a division with editable text in Blender. And this is really cool. This is not like creating that blonde girl going to the background and creating it in a really wrong way. Sometimes it's also not working, but it's cool because you can leave this guy, AI, doing stuff, and you can already see here that it's executing code in reality inside Blender, and then it's trying to produce what is in the image just with that. And if I'm advanced on the video, you see that manually later on I rotate the numbers because it was in the wrong rotation, and then scale it to make it more in the taste that I have. But it was, in 2 minutes, it did what maybe is taking, 10 or 15 minutes. But if you put a proper prompt, you can also go for a coffee, and then when you are coming back, you have something like this one. What I want to mean with this kind of video is like, let's say, some people, some guys, some artists or tech guys are taking benefits of the AI, especially if they are super lazy. So if you are lazy and you think that it can be done in a simplest way with the AI, let's try, and then you have some kind of inventor ideas, you can make great stuff without producing final pixel images in animation and impacting even your coworkers, or whatever, your department. And then, just to say how we use it also in our last TV series, Dino Mates. So here, everything is done in the standard way in the animation industry, but we have some kind of AI filter at the end of the final episode to make it look like a little bit more hand-drawn 2D flat style. So that is cool because it's not breaking our work, it's nothing super special, but it's a filter that makes this different in some way. And in the image that is a little bit pixelated, but in the image that you can see here, you already see that the surface was smoother and also the lines with less presence, so it's like softer in some way, and the filter make the surfaces sharper, so the difference in between the shadows and the bright points are more accentuated, and then the lines are also more defined. And if I'm going here, it was in low resolution, not because we put it out of focus, because in this production the director didn't want to play with the focus to make it more 2D style. But that filter also defined the lines that were on the background with low resolution. And then here in video that I'm not sure if it can be noticeable here.
He's nice, but pretty wild.
Good thing he's on the other side. He's nasty.
Maybe he doesn't want to play with me.
So, and another example is this guy here.
Oh, you. What's the matter? You look a little under the weather.
I went to see the Count's cows. I didn't see the cows, though, and I didn't see the Count either.
Well, what did you see?
Nothing, really.
That's what I was hoping to hear.
Do billy goats sneeze?
Are you all right, Amin? Maybe you're coming down with something.
So you see it's really subtle, but it makes some difference. And you can see it well here on the fingers, that the shadow of the finger is being simplified, sharper, and then you have also the light areas that are more defined, not only the lines. And it's pretty basic in some way, but when we applied the filter in action, was like, wow, it's really, I don't know, making the shapes lighter, everything like more readable in the way of 2D animation. Yeah, so to finish, AI in animation production? No, but yes. No in some ways, but yes for everybody to explore and to find different workflows, ideas, or everybody can use it freely or not. You can pay if you want. But it's a way to produce not only animation, let's say in any kind of job, everything that you are doing, it can take benefits on some development of the artificial intelligence. And for me, my favorite thing of the artificial intelligence is that I have a teacher there to teach me about everything and never complaining if I'm not understanding. So I'm asking again and asking again and asking if it can be simplified, the answer that the AI is giving me, giving some example, links to some web page. So for me, it's amazing. Thank you very much. So, simple questions. Most probably many will answer, but I will give to the closest here, maybe. So, what kind of node the hair system that we are doing lastly is using to create the color? Sorry? Ray Portal. Okay, good. Very good. And the other one that was also not so difficult. So how is the hair system that we are doing taking the curvature? What kind of attribute is taken to choose the direction?
Near size.
More or less? Maybe there?
The normal or tangent?
No?
Mesh curvature.
Mesh curvature. Yes. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much.